What's up, guys? James Blonde here, and yeah, it's been a little while since, you know, we've done this sort of thing. Let's just say 2020 hasn't been the only crazy year for some of us. Anyway, that's not why you're here. You might be here to check out this guy. This is the Blue YetiX, the latest in the Yeti lineup from Blue Microphones. And as some of you guys might remember a couple of years back, I think it was actually like 5 years ago, but you know, nobody's counting. Blue reached out to me to check out the Mophie headphones, as you can see from this video here. If you've never checked that out, it might be worth checking out. Some of the best gaming headphones that I've ever come across, and ever since then, I've been a huge fanatic for Blue products. By the way, guys, this video isn't sponsored by Blue, or anybody for that matter, so they did, however, send me this review unit to check out, so stick around. I'll give you my take on the mic. We'll check out some of the features, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But first, let's sort of back up and go see what comes with. All right, so I've got the Blue YetiX right here. This is how it comes in a nice package. Let's see what's on the box. So according to this, it's the ultimate mic for creating and streaming. Probably not wrong. It supports all of these platforms. A big one is native Discord support, which it says right on the front of the box. Product features, like the traditional original Yeti, it's got the custom 4-capsule condenser array for greater focus and clarity, high-res LED array, so that way, you know, you've got a cool visual representation of your voice levels. Really cool multifunctional smart knob controls, which we'll take a look at. Most of these, of course, are exclusive to the YetiX, like the customizable lighting for personalizing your mic. I mean, we do this on our computers and all of our other peripherals, so why not our mics? I mean, everybody likes that RGB goodness. It also uses the Logitech G Hub software to enable Blue Voice for vocal presets and to tweak the lighting effects. Yeah, so if you didn't know, Logitech acquired Blue semi-recently, and that's why some of the headphones like the Logitech G Pro X headset also uses Blue Voice. But let's go ahead and crack this guy open. Okay, so here we have a quick start guide, or cheat sheet, I suppose. Nice and visual and totally necessary to check out, seeing that this mic has a lot more digital settings over more direct physical knobs for control. This is good to check out for sure. So as an example, it shows you how to switch between the modes that control gain, headphone output level, and the blending between your computer audio and gain. So you apparently press and hold to switch between them. It shows you the different patterns it has and which one it recommends starting with for general use. Even shows you that the micro USB port and headphone jack is at the bottom. Getting into the goods now, we have some nice packaging on the inside and a lot of individual parts. We've got our USB cable here. It's micro USB, which is a nice change. The original Yeti was a mini USB, which is a little harder to find replacements for nowadays. All right, this guy comes pre-assembled on its stand, so you can get to work right away. We're upside down, but that's okay. Very cool presentation coming out of the box. Just flip it upright and you're golden. Love the satin black finish on the blackouts. I'm assuming they'll eventually make it other colors, but this was a perfect start. Love the dark stainless accents. Overall, it's a pretty sweet looking mic, that's for sure. Let's get it hooked up and see how it sounds. Okay, so we're back at our setup here. I've got the YetiX mounted to the Blue Compass boom arm, which I'd at least recommend getting some kind of boom arm long term over just the standard desk stand that it comes with, especially if you're doing some kind of recording. You're not gonna wanna get those desk bumps and whatnot into your audio. But as you can see, this mic is picking up my voice levels. You can visually see that as I'm talking, which is nice. These are the default colors, which can be changed, of course. We'll wanna take a look at that. But as you get louder, you'll notice over on the right side that it starts to lean towards the yellow and pushes the LEDs further until they get to the red, kind of like that. Sorry for your ears. So if we start to turn the knob here, it controls our mic gain, which is basically the sensitivity of the mic. I'm about 12 inches or so away from the microphone, and as you can see, that's what you're hearing now. It picks up quite well, so gain is super sensitive on this particular microphone. If I press the button on the knob, If I press and hold the button for about a second, it switches to my output volume, which is great if you're using headphones like I do, and you have your audio playback coming from your PC through the mic. You'll hear yourself through the mic and your in-game audio or computer audio through your headphones, and this adjusts the audio passing through. If I press and hold the button for another second, it switches to the blend mode, which is how much of what audio do you want passing through your headphones, or do you want more of your microphone, or do you want more of your PC audio? As you go this way, of course that's going to get more microphone, and of course this way, as indicated, gets more of your headphone or PC audio coming through. Depending on what you're using this for, this could go one way or the other, so it's nice to have quick access to these controls. And once you switch to it like this, if you don't really care about seeing your audio levels, it sort of just stays in that mode, which is a nice, subtle feature. Of course, all of these things can be controlled in the Logitech G Hub software, which we'll take a look at as well. On the back of the mic, we have a single button here that's used to switch between the different patterns for different uses. Right now we have it set to the default mode according to the quick start guide, which is sort of an upside down heart. It's called cardioid mode. Love that word, cardioid. Cardioid. It's meant for sources directly in front of the microphone, so this is what you're going to be typically using if you're streaming or just chatting on Discord or whatever it may be. Press it once and it switches over to bidirectional mode, which is great for if you're having a conversation with somebody. That way you hear on both sides of the microphone, so you can hear on this side and that side. And if you start to get in the center here, then you start to lose a little bit of that sound. Next up, we have stereo mode, which separates the left and right channels for more of an environmentally specific sound. So if you're playing an instrument, or if you're into those ASMR videos where you get really close like this and start whispering. Very creepy. Next up, we have omnidirectional mode, which of course is all around. So this picks up sound all around you, no matter where you are. It's going to have some level of reception here. So basically, this would be great if you're using it for a conference call. You have a couple of gamers in a room together, and you're all talking about topics. Great for podcasts. If you're doing a discussion, you only have one mic. Of course, these are the same patterns we've always had on the original Yeti, but it seems like Blue has taken a more modern approach to how they're changed. So they ditched the knob in the back, and instead they have the simple button with LED indicators that can actually be individually customized to your liking, which is getting kind of extreme. And totally necessary. Let's take a look at the software. All right, here we go. This is the Logitech G Hub software that will let you configure the YetiX. As you can see, I've got my G502 Hero and my G910 keyboard, and then of course the YetiX. Here we have settings for the microphone in regards to sound. Next is lighting configurations, and then we have some controls over our headphone pass-through. Right off the bat, a really super nice feature is the per profile configuration, which I'm used to with my mouse and keyboard already. So this will allow you to adjust settings for each profile you set up. So you could have one set up for streaming, you could have one set up for recording, or just playing games with friends as a default. You can even make them switch automatically to a certain profile based on the application you launch. This is a really convenient feature that goes beyond what third-party audio configuring software can actually do for you. So this is where we're going to start getting into the virtual settings from what I already showed you on the mic itself. So the gain is going to be the same as what you see on the front of the mic in terms of levels and as it picks up your voice. Same here, you can actually pick your pattern through the drop-down menu here, or if you want, you can actually cycle through them on the microphone setting itself, and it'll reflect that change in the window here. Moving on to another great feature, Blue Voice. This gives you the ability to adjust the way you sound as you're being picked up by the mic. For starters, you have the basic voice equalizer, which you can go into more detail by clicking right here and adjusting some of these things. Or you can even go into the advanced controls, which is going to give you even more flexibility when it comes to some of the components to correct for, say, background noise, or put a limiter on loud outbursts if you're prone to them. This gets a little bit more on the advanced side of things, of course, but it's nice to have this level of detail without having to have a separate audio program or rely on making all of these changes in post, if that's even possible. Before starting from scratch, of course, you've got plenty of presets that you can play around with to get a nice foundation for how you want to sound. As an example, this is how Broadcaster 1 sounds. This is the sound of Broadcaster 1, and this is the sound of Broadcaster 2. So some of these settings in here and the overall levels are what's getting changed between these presets. And of course, you can go in there and tweak them how you want. You start getting to sound pretty different once you go into, like, say, FM radio station. Then it starts to sound kind of interesting. You can even hear some of the playback through the mic itself if you've got headphones in. I tend to lean a little bit more towards the crisp and modern. And the nice thing is once you find one of these as a sort of foundation, you can go in there and tweak the settings and then save your own preset to what really works for your voice. And then there you go. You can set those in your individual profiles and set them up according to what you want. Of course, you can go in there and use the mic test to play back a little recording of your voice to see how it sounds without you having to listen to it in real time. Hopping over to the lighting, we've got everything under the sun pretty much customizable. This is for the knob LEDs, what color is shown for live and mute. Now personally, I don't like to change the mute color. Red for mute is the least confusing if mute is something that you need to use often. You have the LED animation options for either breathing or fixed. I'm showing you guys the G-Hub software on my recording computer, which happens to be a Mac. But I do think the PC version has a couple more options around lighting somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, you can essentially go into each category, metering, mode, and pretty much put a theme of colors on everything, including, like I mentioned earlier, the individual LEDs that represent the pattern you're on. Overkill? Yeah, probably. Still cool that you have that level of customization just because? Absolutely. Overall, guys, of course I love this microphone. It's everything you can ask for in the original Yeti with a now even sleeker, more feature-rich design. The customizable LEDs are really awesome, don't get me wrong here, but this is not exactly why I would buy this microphone specifically. I actually really like the hardware and software integration aspect of it. So being able to tweak your mic settings from a really intuitive software is absolutely key. I think that's one of the best features of this microphone. I can also see them going even further with presets and future updates, giving more features to your already existing microphone, so it makes it a lot more relevant for a longer period of time. I think this mic is great for beginners who just want to be able to plug and play and make some of the basic changes to the mic itself on the mic without dealing with any of the software, but it's also good for somebody who might be getting into more recording or live streaming and they want to dial in some of their settings with Blue Voice in the software, so that way they're not having to do that in post-editing and want to make their voice sound great every time. The YetiX is going to run you right at $170 versus the original Yeti sitting at the $130 price point. I totally think it's worth the price difference considering the Blue Voice features. The customization aspect is definitely in there, but mainly the software and hardware integration. Being able to update your microphone in the future with new presets and maybe some new stuff, I think is going to be what really makes this mic shine. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this. If you like this video, you know what to do. But for now, stay safe and keep your families healthy. Until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.